Pretty good. Go ahead and start. Just make a couple comments, and then I'll turn it over to questions. First, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Gary and Barbara Rodkin for the kind gift. Today we had a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Rodkin Academic Success Center. I know some of you were there, but a tremendous gift by them, and it's going to be an impact building for all student athletes here at Rutgers. I want to thank our guest coaches. We had 6 former players here today to interact with our players and participate in the spring game. There was a great former letter winner event last night, rally at the Alley that my wife and I went to, and it was great to be around some of the former players and help raise money for charity. So I really appreciate those guys coming around and being with us here today. Just overall with the spring, was happy with the improvement that we made. You know, in a spring game, we limited some players. We obviously limited some calls on both sides of the ball, but I thought there were some good things that happened out there that was really a culmination, a lot of hard work here that they put in this spring. When I look at the game, just standing there on the field, I thought our quarterbacks threw the ball well. Art, in particular, he did have 1 interception, probably more a really good play by Deion Jennings, but Art looked a lot more comfortable, led the offense a lot better out there today than he did last spring. And he's showed a lot of signs of improvement here with what he's done. I think our specialists did a really nice job today. Justin Davidowitz hit it well. I think you saw Adam pick up where he left off last year with his punting. You know, one of the things we didn't do a very good job of offensively was executing the 2-minute drill there at the end of the first half. But overall, you know, I'm pleased with spring. We've made a lot of improvements. We have a long way to go in a lot of areas. We've got to get some guys back healthy. One of the things we did do differently this spring is we practiced longer. We got a lot of reps in, a lot more team reps, and I think our players benefited from that. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for any questions you guys have.
Chris, you mentioned Art. I think he took every snap of the first team. Is he the starter going into the summer?
There's nothing said. I mean, he's the first team quarterback, but we're not going to name a starter or anything like that. Johnny Lang is not even eligible yet, so it's hard to name a guy a starter or in a competition that's not eligible yet. But Art is the #1 quarterback coming out of spring. He's done a really nice job this spring. All the quarterbacks have done a nice job. Johnny's done a great job. Cole Schneider's done a great job, and they all have improved. And excited to see that continued improvement through the summer and training camp.
Are you pleased with the group to move forward with the group as is? You know, you've left the door open and maybe add someone. Are you confident with what you've seen pending Johnny's decision?
Well, there's a lot that still has to be decided before you know, we make a decision on what direction we're going to go. We're waiting to see, you know, what happens with Johnny. I don't know when that's going to come around, but you know, again, we're constantly evaluating the situation, evaluating the players at that position group, and we'll make decisions on what we have to do as we move forward. But not in any position right now today to make any comments that we're going to do this or do that yet.
What have you seen in particular out of Lang and Snyder this spring to give you confidence in those guys?
Well, it's their first spring here with us, and they really did a nice job picking up the offense. They're competitive guys, and they went in there, and whether it's passing or running, handing it off, just leading the offense, executing their responsibilities. They both did a good job. I thought they both did a good job improving on their decision making. I thought Cole Schneider really took a big jump here the last 2 weeks of spring. The first couple of weeks he struggled. It was his first spring, new offense, a lot to learn. And through hard work and studying and just getting reps after reps after reps, he really improved, and pleased with where he's ending spring.
You said on Thursday that some positions might be settled. We talk about quarterback all the time, but any other clarity around different positions?
You know, we got to meet as a staff before I can say anything. But you know, the obvious ones are guys that played, you know, last year or played the last couple years and have been starters. You know, most of those guys are probably going to end up being starters again. But again, until we get a chance to sit down as a staff and evaluate the spring overall and talk about each individual, it's not fair to talk about it right now today after the game.
If a Rutgers fan were to ask you why this team will be better in 2019, what would you say coming out of spring camp?
Based on what we did this spring, this team has a great attitude. There's great chemistry. They work extremely hard. They're very coachable. If you have those intangibles built within your team and your locker room, you have a chance to improve and be the best team that you can become. I think we have outstanding leadership. We changed kind of what we did with voting for captains, and we voted on it here at the end of spring, so our leadership is kind of set for the summer. And I think we have 4 great captains. We're going to provide tremendous leadership for this group. But I just like the way this group works. They've worked extremely hard all off season. We changed the way we did some things here in spring. Nobody complained. They just went and worked, and they've attacked everything that we've asked them to do. And again, if you do those things consistently, you have a chance to improve. But the true test, and I get it, it's when we play games. You know, I'm not going to sit here and proclaim anything about our football team right now after 15 spring practices. We got a lot of work to do this summer. We got a lot of work to do in training camp when we get the pads back on. But I like the direction that we're going, and I like the way these guys show up to work every day.
I think I spent, last spring after the game asking about bowls and, going into that. Is this team that far away? I know 1-11, but, are you that far away from, like, turning around and being able to actually compete?
No, not at all. If you look at how we played at the end of last season, we were really competitive in a few plays here or there. We could have won, a few games at the end of last season. We were playing our best football at the end of the season. Now, we need to build on that, and it's not just about competing, it's figuring out how to win some games and making the plays that you need to win. We got to be able to focus better, we got to be more disciplined, we got to be able to execute more consistently. If we do those things, we're going to have a chance to win games.
Chris, it seemed when Art was throwing today, he was very confident, very assured. Did you kind of see that too?
He's shown that all spring. A lot of times when we've met after practice here as a group, I've discussed that. That's an observation that we made early in spring, that he was a lot more confident, he's more comfortable, the game's slowing down, he has better command of the offense, he can make better decisions. We've changed some things to help with that also, and I think today it was kind of a product of what we saw through 15 practices.
I was going to say the receivers look very better than last year.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It looks a lot better, but we have a long way to go. But you can't, we were not very good last year in the pass game. It is what it is. Our players know it, our staff knows it. We've invested a lot of time here in the offseason in this spring when it's legal to get the balls out on our pass game. It's the protection, it's the development of the receivers, the timing with the quarterback, the decision making, and hopefully all that hard work and that time that we've invested will pay off, and we'll get more production out of that part of our team.
Anything else, guys? Thanks, Coach.
No,